All right, my name is Akan Kevin Apanke. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Criminology and Security Studies, Federal University of Ekiti. I'm here to present a lecture on CSS 106, Introduction to Criminal Justice System. In this lecture, we're looking at the history of criminal justice system, structure of the criminal justice system, identify the sources of law in criminal justice system, define criminal justice system, terminologies used in criminal justice system, components of the criminal justice system, functions of the law enforcement agents in the criminal justice system, challenges of criminal justice system, and solutions to the problems of the criminal justice system. Then we are going to look at this course generally covers the structure. The structure of criminal justice system is a tripartite system. That's what is obtainable in the Nigerian system. We use the criminal code as well as that's borrowed from the English common law or the common law, as well as the Maliki school of thought, which is also covering the penal code and the Muslim code. We are looking at the sources of law. The sources of law in the criminal justice system include the English common law, the constitutional law, the case law, administrative and ordinances, customs and tradition of the people, statutory laws. Criminal justice system. Criminal justice system simply refers to the network of public and private agencies which seeks to manage, prosecute, convict, and rehabilitate offenders and victims of crime. We're looking at terminologies used in the criminal justice system. Accomplice. Accomplice simply refers to someone who aid another person to commit a crime. Defendant. It simply refers to someone who is being accused of a crime. Acquitter. This is a judgment or a verdict that specifies that a person is not guilty of the crime which he or she has been charged for. Admissibility of evidence. This is the fact that a particular evidence can be presented before a court of law, before a competent court of law, whether it will be accepted as evidence. Then we also have evidence. This refers to something that can be presented in the court of law as a proof for a particular thing under investigation. Witness, someone who has an eyewitness or a contact with a particular criminal offense and stands to testify to that. A dock, this is the place where a defendant stands in the court trial. And then assault, it possibly refers to all the kinds of physical or psychological harm done to a person by an accused person or a defendant. We have the components of the criminal justice system. The components of the criminal justice system are usually three. Like I said before, they are tripartite. We talked about law enforcement, which covers the police, the DSS, the immigration, customs, amongst others. We talk about the courts, which is the second segment of the criminal justice system, where trial and interpretation of the law takes place. We also have correctional centers, where rehabilitation and provision of offenders who have been kept under ATM or those who have been charged and found guilty and are serving a jail term are kept. The functions of the law enforcement. Let's begin with the law enforcement in particular. We talked about law enforcement, apprehension of offenders, maintenance of law and order, preservation and detection of crime, protections of lives and property. The court holds the duty of public administration of justice, interpretation of the law, punishment of offenders, and review of the law. The correctional centers holds the duty of taking in custody who have been interred, provision of safe, secure, and human custody, conveying remand persons to and from court, identify existence and causes of antisocial behavior among inmates, conduct risk and need assessment facility on the facility and rehabilitation of offenders. They also have the following challenges: lack of manpower, lack of funds, lack of infrastructure, lack of workers' welfare, adequate workers' welfare, illiteracy, lack of technological know-how, corruption, lack of synergy among law enforcement agencies. And then the solution to such problems are employment of qualified staff, provision of adequate funds, provision of basic infrastructure, provision of motivation and incentive to workers, education opportunities, training and retraining of staff, enhancement of technical skills, punishment of people found to be corrupt, whether through suspension, demotion, and expulsion, encouragement and promotion of cooperation and understanding among law enforcement officers. It is worth noting that at the end of this lecture, students should be able to discuss the history of criminal justice system, identify the structure of the criminal justice system, identify the sources of law in criminal justice system. By this lecture, my expectation is that students should have a grasp of all that has been discussed, internalize this, and be able to use it effectively towards the achievement of the desired goal which this course seeks to provide as an objective. Thank you very much.